Do you struggle with your purpose? Do you struggle with kind of your goal in life? And oftentimes, fitness can be a great catalyst to begin those changes, but is fitness enough? That's the question that I'm going to be trying to answer. So strap in, get ready for episode 270. Let's go.
The future of fitness.
How do you gain muscle mass?
Fitness is not complicated. It's simple when you break it down.
There's so much information out there.
No fads, no diets, just plain simple habits.
You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Brian Parody, and I will be your host today. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. For my return listeners, thank you for coming back. It means the world to me that you continue to tune in and listen to this podcast. All right, so I'm going to try to go a little deep without it being overly deep, if that makes sense. It really doesn't, but hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. So, we are, close to the end of 2021. Like, how did that happen, first off? And it has been a crazy year. There's been a lot of goods, a lot of bads. I'm sure you can relate. And, we can really fall into fitness in a couple of ways. Usually we turn to fitness because we want to get healthier, we want to get fit, and then it can become kind of I'm not going to say over-consuming thing because like fitness is great for us, but it can also become, I'm going to say our sole purpose. Like we live for the gym. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's times and seasons for that, but is that really enough? Because what's typically going to happen is if we make the gym our world and fitness our world, then we go strong for a while, but then we begin to fall off because there's not balance in life. And let's be honest, fitness is awesome. Fitness is great. Obviously, I wouldn't host a podcast all about it if I didn't think so, but it's not enough. Like there's more to life than just fitness. There is. And, I'm not really speaking to those who fitness is your life in the sense of it's your job, maybe you make money off of competing or whatever that may look like. But for, most people, it's kind of a side thing, it's we want to be healthy, we want to be fit, so we go to the gym, we eat right. But it's not, the essence of life. What is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, the quintessential meaning of life? I don't know if I even used that word correctly, but you know what I'm trying to say. So how do we find balance in life? And what the hell is the meaning of life? You know what I mean? I think, not trying to get overly deep here, but, it's just been a crazy last month. There's just been a lot of things that have happened personally, and it's made me question a lot of things, and in good ways. Question things in the sense of, what is our purpose here? Like, why, when we go about our day-to-day life, what is the main goal we should be trying to figure out or do? And I by no means have an answer to that, but I'm going to word vomit a little bit, and hopefully you can bear with me. And I would love to hear your insight. So if after you listen to this, you're like, you know what, I disagree with what that crazy guy's saying, or I have some things to add to it, then by all means hit me up. You can email me at brian.parody@gmail.com or find me on social media and shoot me a message. And all those links are in the show notes. So, when it comes to the meaning of life, what is it? What is our purpose? I think we can get so caught up in things that don't matter and lose perspective on the importance of life, lose perspective on how good we freaking have it. Now, don't get me wrong. We all go through some shit in life, right? I'm not trying to say that life is hunky-dory and rainbows and unicorns and leprechauns at the end of the rainbows, right? But what I am trying to say is we have so much opportunity, and I think that we can kind of, just become jaded. I guess it's a good word. We can become jaded in the sense of when life problems hit us, when we're overwhelmed with the fitness goals, when we're overwhelmed with work or family or children or, XYZ, then we can become cold and think, man, the world is just becoming such a bad place and people just aren't the same as they used to be. And what's the world coming to? And things were so much better when I was a kid. And that's a dangerous road to go down. First off, I'm not that old. I'm 36. 36? No, wow. It's bad when you forget how old you are for a minute. So I'm 36, right? And, I'm not that old, but things were a lot different when I was a kid. And I hear all the time, rhetoric about, well, things were better back in my day. Were they really? I mean, were they real? Let's be real here. Things are different, but that doesn't mean that things are worse. And I think we have this fear when it comes to things changing. When things change, what happens is it's new and we don't understand it all the time. And so with that not understanding, we get fearful. And then that fear brings us to kind of demonize it. Whether it's technology, whether it's, kids should get outside and play more. And don't get me wrong, I'm totally for kids getting outside and playing, getting fresh air. I make mine go outside each day. But I also understand that it's a different day and age in which they live. And they're absolutely going to spend more time in front of a screen than I did when I was their age. There's nothing wrong with that. It's different, sure, but it's just a different time and place. And so I say all that is that we can get down this rabbit hole of when we start looking at the world, we start looking at problems, and one thing can just escalate and escalate and escalate, and we begin to drive ourselves into this really dark, deep hole of despair. I feel like it should be in a movie, like The Deep, Dark Hole of Despair. Is that from something? I don't know. I'm on a tangent this morning. But my point is, we've got to keep focus on the present and look for opportunity everywhere, because opportunity is indeed everywhere. There are people out there doing incredible things because of technology. Now, does every change bring about bad too? Of course. There's always been bad since the beginning of time, right? And there always will be till the end of time. But that doesn't mean that that's like the biggest thing. I saw a quote the other day, and it was talking about, negativity is very loud. Negative shouts. Negative is what you hear about all the time. It's in your face. But positivity is the silent one. And it's true because we tend to place more focus on the negative, whether it be in, the news or what we read about online, or there's always these random cases, these random articles, and it always highlights the negative, right? But there's a lot more positive than there is negative. And the reason I know that is because I see it around me. I'm not saying I never have an interaction with a negative circumstance or person, because of course we all can say that we do. But for the most part, the people that I see and I see doing things, they're striving to be better. They're striving to make a better place for themselves, for their kids, for their families, for their friends. And I see so much positivity around me, and it excites me. Yes, things are changing at an insane and radical pace. They absolutely are. But there's a lot of positive things that are coming from that. And I'm excited. I absolutely am. And so I just want to encourage you that I know I've kind of gone off a little bit on the deep end today, and you're like, okay, Brian, what's your point in all this? My point in all this is don't get distracted by the things that don't matter. Because there's always going to be negative things. There's always going to be things that try to pull you down. But those are not the end goal. Those are not the main things in life. Those are the distractions. And if we can ignore those, we can see how much good is freaking out there, because there's a lot of it. I promise you there's a lot of it. I've seen it with my own eyes. And so I say all this to encourage you to try this out just this week. Every day, whether it's on your lunch break or at night when you get home or even in the morning, pick out a couple positive things that you want to do. Maybe it's just positive in your own life, positive for someone else that you know, an act of kindness, like whatever. I'm not trying to be cheesy here. I'm being 100% genuine. And then also write about something that happened the previous day that's positive. It doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be like, I won the lottery yesterday, because we know that's probably not going to happen. I mean, just any little thing. Maybe it was a friend texting you out of the blue that you haven't heard from in a while. Maybe it was, having a fun moment with your kids. Maybe it was achieving something in the gym that you've been working towards. Whatever it is, focus on the positive. Because I promise you this, the more you focus on the positive, the more positivity you're going to see. It's this weird like snowball effect where it just starts and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because you're changing your mindset. You're changing that mindset into, wow, there's so much good. This is positive. What else is positive around me? It begins to open your eyes to see the world's not bad. It's not. Are there some bad things in it? Sure. But that's nothing new. There always has been. And sitting around saying how bad something is, guess what? That does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do to make this world a better place? So I know this is a bit different than my typical podcast, but I felt like this was just important to get out. So I hope this was meaningful. And just, I want to encourage you, have an amazing day. Like whatever you're going through, I know, again, that life is not all rainbows, that some days just completely suck. I get that. Like some days are just shit. Let's be real. But those don't have to be the norm. We can have so many good times, so many good days. And it all starts with how we look at things. Remember, above all else, I'm in your corner, cheering you on. You can accomplish any goal that you set your mind to. You've got this.